There are already people in the chat, right?
There are, yes. Okay, let's start in 1 minute. Awesome. I think we can get started, shall we?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Shall
we
we
can.
start?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. So this is me, Rohan Chaube, a best-selling author, growth advisor to startups, and today I present to you, this wonderful webinar where we are going to talk about LLM chatbots, and especially the conversational chatbots and how you can, automate your customer service, your, knowledge transfer information or lead generation. We have with us today the co-founders of Tiledesk, Michael and Andrea. So, just to introduce you uh, to Michael and Andrea, Andrea focuses on the product vision and development at Tiledesk. He has 20 years of experience working on open source applications, and he specializes specifically in chatbots and enterprise solutions. So we call him the guru at the Tiledesk headquarters. And then we have Michael. Michael actually focuses on the go to market and the operations at Tiledesk. And he has 10 years of international experience in management. And he has scaled up to $30 million in revenue in the digital landscape. And he's the maker at the Tiledesk. Just to share with you a little bit before we get started with the actual webinar, how I met Michael and Andrea. So, when they were doing their product hunt launch last year, we were discussing about the product. I was very impressed with the capabilities of Tiledesk. And since I've been hunting a lot of AI related products on Product Hunt, we agreed to work together. I hunted their product, and their team performed incredibly great at Product Hunt. They were the number second product of the day, the number second product of the week, and then they also competed for the prestigious Golden Kitty Awards, and they were able to be the runner up for the Golden Kitty Awards as well. So they're actually on the Hall of Fame at Product Hunt. So that's how we started, talking, and I wanted to, be with them for longer to communicate and share how amazing Tiledex could be to e-commerce websites, SaaS, people in fintech, all of these businesses, how they can leverage LLM chatbots and conversational automation. Uh, Today or tonight, from whichever part of the world you are tuning in, what we are going to talk about is like three major themes. Essentially, number one, let's discover how LLM chatbots can improve the customer conversations and experience. The second one being how you can build your own chatbots using your own data. That means if you have an existing knowledge base, you could use that as the data input and create your own chatbot for your website visitors. And the third one being how you can enhance your bot's conversation with ChatGPT intelligence. So a lot of people have been, like there are a lot of chatbots in the market. What's interesting is how do you make a bot more empathetic towards the visitor or the customer or the user, and how we can use our in-house knowledge base intelligence at the same time the bot's capability to make it more conversational. How can we solve maybe use cases with that? So I want to first invite Michael to begin with, what he has to share and present in terms of what exactly is conversational automation, and how does chatbot come into the picture, and how does how does it differ from the regular chat gpt versus putting something on your website for either sales or lead generation or customer service. So over to you, Michael.
Hi, Ron. Thank you so much for the intro. And yeah, we are really happy to be with you, with Andrea, and all the audience that is following us on YouTube. So I think the best way is to go direct, seeing some concrete use case, and I'm gonna share my screen so that I can bring you behind the scenes.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. So I don't know how much are you familiar with the Airtable? That is a tool that I really like to make data analysis and also make a quick integration with other tools in order to optimize workflow. So here you can see a Canva where we use it to build flows and also to build chatbots and conversational apps. And well, here you can see there are really few blocks, just five. And yeah, well, the most important part is that I plugged a knowledge base based on the contents that are available public on the Airtable support website. Actually, they are, well, I didn't upload everything. There were about 250 sites. But if I wanted to do more, I can go here and I can really simple paste URLs, or I can even put a block of text in case the information is not public, or even faster, when available, I can add a sitemap. Well, in this case, to speed up the process, I did it this in advance in the morning, and it took me about 10 minutes. So yeah, let's see. What is the objective of what I did in the morning, and I would like to share with you. Is that to build easily an assistant that can answer to query based on the Airtable information. So let's simulate a visitor that can ask some question to Airtable. Well, I'm a marketing and operation guy, so always thinking about CRM. So I can ask, is it possible to connect Airtable to HubSpot? Okay, now let's say it's retrieving the information in the backstage, and it will give us hopefully some answer. And yes, the answer is positive, since it says that it's possible to connect Airtable to HubSpot, and it's also offering me a link to the information in case I want to go deeper on this. But yes, let's suppose that I'm a lazy guy. Well, actually, I am. And instead of going to the link, I want to ask to the assistant how. Okay. Let's see if okay, well, in this case, you see, it says that it's still learning, and if we can try in a different way, no? So maybe here, let's say, a second level of training is needed in order to make this performing better. I'm gonna show you something really quick that we can do together, no? Because one, at least according to my experience, one of the most important thing when it comes to AI assistant is that they can also manage the context of the conversations. And well, how can I allow this? I can go here in this particular block that actually is the one connecting to the knowledge base. You can find here among the one that are already preset and pre-built in our tool. And here, well, you can see that there is a section for prompting that actually is taking just the last user text, which is the last request from the visitor. How can I enrich this? Well, really easy. I can put here a prompt that is a little bit more articulated, like reply to user request, considering the conversation history. Okay, and after that, I give just a couple of instructions where user request is the one that is already there, but I want to specify. And history, conversation history is this one. I can go on the attributes of the system, and there is one that is called transcript that gives you all the context of the conversation. Okay, if I want, I can even change the model, but I'm fine with the GPT-4. Okay, so let's try again, so we can simulate this fast. I'm gonna do exactly the same question I did before. How can I connect Airtable to HubSpot? Okay, now he's querying the DB. Okay, I'm gonna ask how again. Okay, well, we had exactly the same as before, but because I did the wrong answer, no? Let's do it again, sorry. Okay, is it possible to connect HubSpot to Airtable? Okay, now you are gonna see that it's gonna generate the answer. Since if you go in the documentation of Airtable, it's not exactly written that is possible, no? And so the first part has been generated. Let's do now the same question. How? So now the context is that, yes, they saw that is it possible to connect HubSpot to Airtable? And you can see now it's taking a little bit longer compared to the previous one, since it's generating the new answer. And you can see, no? So this has been a big improvement compared with the previous setting. And we were able to obtain together this in a really a few minutes. This is, let's say, just an example of things that you can achieve with a tool like this without writing a single line of code. If you want, yes, we can try with other questions. Okay, I don't know. I need a refound, since maybe I'm not so happy or what I get. Okay, maybe in this case there were not policy of refunds because it was just the technical support, no? Let's go with another one. How can I create my first workspace? Okay, and it gives me some instructions. So I don't want now to bother you with all the possible questions I can make to the Airtable Assistant, since it's a really wide tool now with a lot of features and functionalities. This was, let's say, just a preview to warm up the environment. And now I will leave the word to Andrea, that maybe can explain us in a simple way how this is built on technical side.
Do you see my screen? No, you can move my screen on the main stage. Okay, well, perfect. So guys, good morning everyone, and I want to talk about what RAG chatbots are. What does it mean? This is just a new wave, no? That came up after generative AI. The first need of people was that ChatGPT, for example, is very good in replying with the text generation, but it replies only about the knowledge that is behind inside her databases, no? And this is a problem for companies when they just want to gain, the power of ChatGPT, but replying with contents inside their own knowledge bases. So this is where RAG chatbots came up. Okay, what is a RAG bot chat? First of all, we just can analyze the RAG word. That is retrieval augmented generation. This just means that you can, as I wrote in the main slide of my presentation, you can use your organizational internal data to ask questions, and what you gain is that ChatGPT will reply just as a human. This is the fundamental benefit that you get with RAG chatbot. For example, I can say that this is a schema of how the RAG chatbots work in general, with the two main characters. The first character is the site, the workspace administrator, the chatbot designer, I can say. So the chatbot designer, what does it need is to train, I can say, to train. The word training is wrong because the right word is create embeddings. But I prefer to use train because it is much simpler to understand, because this is what really you want. You just have a knowledge base, you want to train someone, for example, ChatGPT, to reply and generating replies based on your knowledge base. So what you do is just providing your contents to someone. Let's see who is this someone later, the next slide. But on the right, we have just the perspective of the end user. What the end user just have what the end user gets is a human-like interaction. It just makes questions in a natural language way, and the system will reply in a natural language way. For example, and this is also the topic of the live session that we will see later, at the end of the presentation, the user is asking a CV in this case, with some skill inside, but it doesn't have to push any button or select skills from a list, from a menu. He just asks his question. And the reply, as you can see, is not something that is really got as is from the knowledge base, but it is generated by AI, simulating a human-like reply. Because if the user asks, do you have, he just replies, yes. And also he is replying with, for instance, he worked. For instance, is not something that was in the original curriculum vitae of myself, because I uploaded my curriculum vitae. So this is the idea, no, of how the whole scenario of content processing works. First, you have here on the left, no, your knowledge base. What you do is just, we are just looking, we're just having a technical view, no, of the whole text processing, no, to create the previous kind of interaction. I will go really fast, no, because I don't want to be boring. So the idea is that you have a knowledge base made, for example, of text documents. You just provide those text documents to ChatGPT, or in general, any generative AI. No? You can choose whatever you want. We will talk about this later too. What does the generative AI is that it creates a vector of a semantic vector, or better, a vector into a semantic space of your contents. And this vector, that is something that has a mathematical view, no? So is easy to operate on in a very fast way, is stored into a vector database. The vector database that we use in Tiledesk actually is Pinecone, that is a cloud vector database, but we are just trying to provide more because we have an open source DNA. So what we want to use as less cloud software as possible for our tool. Anyway, Pinecone is very good at the moment. So what happens when the user queries? When the user make a question, no, this question is vectorized too. Always asking to the generative AI to create a vector of the question. Now this question is provided to the vector database, but the only thing that the vector database does is just a distance calculation between two mathematical vectors. It is an indexing processing, no? That is very, very easy and fast to do, no? So what it finds out is a lot of corresponding text, no? The original text that was processed to create the vector is retrieved, and this is the word retrieving, is retrieved from the index store. The text, or the text chunks, because the text sometimes is too long to be processed in a wall, no? So it is decoupled into chunks. So these chunks are mounted again, provided back, just like a context, to ChatGPT. And now what you do is what you generally do with ChatGPT. You simply create a prompt. That is something made in this way. Hi, ChatGPT. The user is searching, made to me this question. Can you please retrieve, or better, create a reply based on these text chunks that I find out that are probably very near to the contents that he was searching for? So here it is. The chatbot will reply with yes, for sure. And obviously, you can set up a lot of things during this prompt generation, no? Because you can set up, for example, a system context, where you can say in ChatGPT, you are a customer assistant, no? Very good, or you are a scientist, you are very good with mathematics. It depends by the context. So you can tune your reply, you can set up the temperature, so you can add a question mark or exclamation points, also emoticons, whatever you want. It depends by something that you can tune. This is just instead a slide that I love, because this is just how you can have a picture of a vector space, no? It is just a vector, as I told before, into a semantic space. Just imagine that you have a lot of axes, and each axis into this space that is multidimensional. You have the axis that talks about fluids, something that talks about work, something that talks about spare time, something that some axis that talks about mathematics, and a lot of things. So you just put a vector inside the space and you calculate this distance with a pure mathematical approach. And this is very interesting. What I will provide is this presentation later, but you can also just check some interesting resources. For example, I was looking at these results. I provided the link to you, thanks to my colleague Gianluca Lorenzo that provided me all these resources. Very interesting. And these resources really explain how generative AI works in general, how embeddings, what is the real revolution of from the introduction of transformers into AI that they provided, the rise of generative AIs, etc. So there are a lot of things, but I should move on. So what is TileDesk doing with RAG-bots? Where we are going, we and all the world, because the issue here is that yes, it's true there are a lot of chatbot tools around. This is absolutely a great thing, because if you have many competitors, this means that you are on the right wave. But the idea is that there are also really a lot of development tools around, and you just have a lot of things to choose, and it depends by your needs. The same is happening with chatbots, because chatbots are applications, are conversational applications, and you will find in the next years a lot of new development tools that will allow you to work easily with chatbots. Now the real challenge is to work with chatbot easily, because the chatbot is something that is not really flexible by the user interface, and this is good because they come from the chat experience, and the chat experience is very easy. You don't need a learning curve to understand how WhatsApp or Telegram work. And this is the same perception that conversational designers have about chatbot design. They want, I can say, not the same experience, but sometimes, yes, you in the future, you will chat with the chatbot to create another chatbot, for example. This is a no-code approach, and this is what we married, from, I can say, the start of 2023. We created our designer. But when you work with chatbots, and especially RAG-chatbots, you will face, first of all, this point, that there are a lot of libraries that the programmer can use to build his own RAG-chatbot. So everything looks very easy at the start. So it looks like everyone can make his own RAG-chatbot without using a product. But why do you have to use a product, or it's better for you to use a product like TileDesk? Because there are a lot of needs behind a chatbot design, especially a RAG chatbot, because sometimes question and answer is not enough. And as I wrote here, some answers need to follow on an automation path. For example, executing some task, sending some email, invoking some APIs, because you understood that the user is searching for something, for example, for a special product, and you just check in your database and see that there is a deal for him. Just to do this check, the RAG chatbot is not enough. You need some automation to invoke, to query your APIs. There are a lot of other things. For example, you need APIs to use the chatbot. The user interface, the one that Michele showed you before, is good to start. But when you are serious about feeding the chatbot with your contents, you probably need to look inside your databases. You need to look inside your knowledge bases that are really heterogeneous. They are sometimes not really accessible. So you need some programmer tools, and APIs are there because everything is API first from a lot of time, I can say. Automatic retrain is something very good to have, because you sometimes just want your contents to be always synchronized with your RAG. So everything starts easy, no? You just put your content inside, and then you find out that your website is an e-commerce website, and you have a lot of products that move around. Some will be updated, some others will be removed from the store. And you don't want to stay behind the user interface to continuously upload and remove or update your content. You just want some automation, no, to manage this retrain. Something else, something that is really, really important is securing your content. And this is really important when you don't want to simply use the RAG chatbot to provide replies to your website that is public contents. When your contents are not public, you are, for example, a banking company, you want to use the RAG chatbots to provide support to your employers, no? This is a really important point, because your documents are probably hidden behind a wall of privacy, no? There are a lot of sensible data inside, and you just want to secure your content. And this is a really great point, no? It's really hard to achieve. Another point is that just you want to tune your chatbot to reply in the best way, because sometimes everything starts easy and you are happy that your chatbot replies, no, like a human. After 1 month, you just discover that he just is wrong about some replies. For example, he has some hallucinations, some data is missing, and you didn't recognize this, and you want the chatbot to manage correctly replies when your data is missing, no? And this is something that has to do with tuning your chatbot. So just examine one by one and really fast, because I want to reach the live session, no? How we managed to each point. So question answer is not enough. Okay, really easy. You have already seen that we have a designer. The designer is where the chatbot programming happens, and this is the main point. You don't have, with TileDesk, you don't simply have a RAG chatbot that replies to your questions. You have an automation tool. You can do whatever you want. Whatever, today something, tomorrow more, because our tool is going day by day to become more similar to Zapier or Make.com, I don't know, whatever NA10 and other automation tools, because what sometimes happens is that you design your chatbot and you want some automation to occur behind the scenes, no? To create some to add some complexity, because we have complex requirements simply for this. So secure your content. This is the hardest part, absolutely, no? We are working hard to secure your content. The main point, no, is when you work with sensible data. And the first thing that you can do is just take TileDesk and host TileDesk on your own web servers, no? On your own data centers. Okay, TileDesk is open source, so you can do a lot of things, but this is very costly. Anyway, the main point is that if you take TileDesk and install it on your data centers, your problem is that your generative AI is ChatGPT. It is in the cloud. This is not a solution, because your data always go on ChatGPT. And also, if ChatGPT is a trusted environment, you don't trust it. So what do you want really is to have a generative AI environment on your own data centers. And this is what we are working on, no? In the next months. We are trying to provide inside the TileDesk stack the possibility to connect directly to a Mistral on-premise generative AI, Llama on-premise generative AI, a lot of open source generative AIs that can replace, and we know that they are going to replace very good ChatGPT. And another thing that we are doing is just to provide encryption at rest of your data, no? Because you upload your documents, no? And when you upload your documents, we have to secure out your documents to be sure that those documents are not violated in some way. This happens when you want to use TileDesk in the cloud, because if it is not on premise and you have TileDesk in the cloud, we have to take on all those actions, no, to provide the security in the cloud and assure you that your data is really secure. So the other point is about the need of APIs. We will take just the first test of our API preview, no, in the next in the live session. So I can skip. This is what Michele has shown you, no. This is about tuning. So the simpler tuning, the most effective one that you can do is just don't provide to the RAG chatbot the user text, no, the text, the question that the user provided, but for example, elaborate the prompt. So ask to the user, please never reply. Ask to the user is wrong, I'm sorry, but please never reply with phone numbers. Please never reply with sensible data. User asked this. So you can just provide some additional instruction into the prompt, so you can avoid some hallucinations. You can avoid to reply with credit cards information if they are present in your knowledge base, no? And something similar. ChatGPT or all the generative AIs are really good in prompting. This is their main power, no? The other thing is that automatic retrain, we are working on automatic retrain, okay? This will be available, I can say, from the end of May, no? And well, now let's go live, no? And what is our live session about? We have just created something that is special, not so common, no? Not so common, and what it is effectively, we are talking about a chatbot that will train himself by himself, based on user text submission. In this case, the user will provide his own curriculum vitae to the chatbot. And there are the same chatbot is used by the end users to submit their CV, and by companies to find the CV. So what we created is a simple chatbot that we show here. Okay, it is here, no? I named this chatbot AutoTrain, and is I can just take a bird's eye view, okay, to all the design. It's not really hard, but to understand, but just look at how it works. So this is the chatbot, no? The first button is for end users that are just try to provide the CV to the application, no? So they can send their CV. So the first question is, please attach your CV in TXT format, no? What I can do here, no, is, for example, providing my NARTS CV, but we are looking for information technology CV. So I will try to upload my CV, but the point is that my CV is wrong. I don't want CV that are outside the domain that I asked for. I just only want coders or people inside the information technology domain, no? And so what happens here? That there is an agent, artificial intelligence agent inside this really small flow that acts just like a human, that analyzes the CV, the upcoming CVs, and get a yes, approved or not approved, just in this simple way. Just look at this, no? And this is the supervisor. It's just a block that it is immediately after the CV submission. So as soon as the CV is submitted, I provide the CV to my supervisor. The supervisor is simply a GPT task, a standard GPT task, very easy to use. Just provide the prompt and you will get a reply, okay? When you get the reply, no, you will get a reply. I will show you how to manage, no, this reply. This is the point. Can you tell me if the content section is a valid curriculum vitae inherent to information technology? Please only reply yes or no. And this is the content. The content here is the CV. So if immediately after there is a condition, this condition just, as you can see, checks if GPT replies yes. If it replied yes, you can go on with the flow because it's really a good CV. No, it was the CV into the domain that I was searching for. Obviously, inside the prompt, you can ask whatever you want, not only if it is a valid information technology, but you can also ask for, please tell me if about your opinion, ChatGPT, this is a valid CV or is a fake CV. Or, for example, if it is using bad words, no, because I don't want someone to get offended or someone to provide curriculum vitae that can in some way infect my CV database. No, I can ask whatever you want. I also can split this prompt in many prompts. So each prompt, this is the best way to work with prompt chaining, no, and prompt engineering, to split the prompt in many prompts chained. So each prompt can check just one thing about the CV. So it is faster and also faster to process and also faster to maintain and easier to maintain. Anyway, in this case, you see that you get the chat GPT reply, and well, no, you will get the valid CV, no, and the valid reply. So we will try again, no, but this time I will send the right CV. No, the right CV is my CV, and I am an information technology engineer. So I will send a CV, and I will wait for the validator. Yes, good. It looks like a valid CV. Thanks for your CV. We're uploading it to our database. Okay, now what's happening behind the scenes? That the RAG-chatbot switched on. Got all the flow that I've shown you here. The green one, started, and in the end we get all the CV processed into the vector engine. So it is being vectoralized. So we have a vector of it. The content is split in chunks, no, and you are ready now to make a question. Find the CV. Now I just put on my head the hat of the company headhunter, no. So now I'm just using my chatbot to make a question. So I can just make a question in natural language, okay? Do you have a CV profile, I can say, with a European project management skills, I can say. Everything is live. Guys, so just, I'm sorry if I push enter, no, I press enter. Wait some seconds while we search for the best available CV fitting your request. What we should have, no, in reply is a real human-like reply. Yes, we got it, no, I am happy. So why it is human-like? Because it just didn't provide me a link for the CV. It just replied to me with yes. No? So, do you have a CV profile? Yes. Andrea has experience in managing European projects. This is totally generated by ChatGPT, based on the content of my knowledge base. But the main thing about this, the main topic about this flow is that I didn't use the user interface to upload the CV by hand. The CV was uploaded directly from the chatbot. I trained directly from the chatbot. And not only this, but there is also an agent that acts like a human that validated the curriculum vitae and approved it, and so trained it and allowed the CV to be trained. And so you just gained what? A way to provide the user a day by day and night working human experience. No, you can provide your CV. It is approved also at 3 p.m. during the night, during the weekend, every day, and you don't have a human behind the scenes. The human can always be there, but just to do the the extra work, no? To extreme validation, because AI can always fail. But the idea is that I can do more questions, for example. I'm looking, no? And this is the interesting part, that you can always talking and make questions without a user interface, without press some buttons to select the skills you are searching for, to apply filters. No, you just have to talk. I'm looking for a CV with coding. I'm sorry, I just wrote my question here just to not get wrong. Skills, especially Java. Especially Java. The other, do you have one? Do you have one for me? What is the other great advantage of using this kind of interaction? That you can talk in any language. You can make the curriculum vitae can be also in Arabian, no, in Persian, I don't know, whatever language you want, French. But if you do the question in English, it will reply to you in English. And if you make the question in Italian, it will reply to you in Italian. Okay? And this is the great advantage. So, guys, I am okay with my with my live session. The only thing that I want to show you is just the preview of the APIs. And now we imagine that you can use the chatbot automation to create automations based on RAG-bots. What you will find now here is that at some point, the content will be trained. No? Where is trained? Where is it trained? It is trained, don't remember, it is trained here. Okay. This is where the training happens. Okay. I just use, this is just for programmers. Okay. But I have an endpoint here. Okay. That is the knowledge base endpoint. This is a preview of the APIs for the knowledge base that we are going to provide you in the next month, and it's based on this point. No? The point was need for APIs. No? This is what I have already shown you. No? During the presentation. The real need, one of the best needs, is to have an API so I can do more with my hidden knowledge base, my encrypted knowledge bases, my sensible data rich knowledge bases, no? And my complex data rich knowledge bases, because, for example, they are into a database, they are not in PDF, they are not in TXT, they are not a public URL. You really don't know where to get those kind of data. So if you provide me APIs, I can do more. This is an enterprise level feature, no? And this is something really good to have. And this is where I used it. So now I used it with a web request that is the lowest level component into the design, no? Is the web request. It is just a plug to REST APIs, no? Whatever. If you already have confidence with Postman, for example, you already know what a web request is. But what we want to do is to just add the not only the ask the knowledge base, but also train the knowledge base action. That is another action that you will be able to use just providing the content without looking at this kind of low level data. Okay, and I am okay for this for now. I don't know, Michele, would you like to continue the?
Well, I will say let's leave the last 10 minutes for question and answers. Since I saw a lot of comments on our YouTube channel. Ron, did you get some of them? That maybe.
Yeah. Would you like to? Let me just put us on the screen, and we'll take on questions. All right. So let's start with the beginning. Someone is asking, does Rohan speak Italian? I do not, but by the end of the year, hopefully working with Michael and Andrea, I get to learn some, and maybe we will use Italian in some language. We can have like an Italian webinar.
Yeah, well,
We had about 130 people joining it at one point in time. Amazing. And then we have another question where Raghavendra says Tiletex was on the Hall of Fame on Product Hunt. Yes, it was. There's a question from Manali. She writes, can we connect custom GPT bots to Tiledesk?
We will do. We are working to connect custom GPT bots and assistants API. They are the main point to connect. I didn't talk about assistants and the custom GPT bots because it didn't fit into the seminar because it was exactly about RAG bots. But assistants API are really near to the concept of chatbot. They really are another way to implement RAG bots. For example, when you just create a RAG bot, you cannot provide to the RAG bot a very long prompt because you have a token limit. You have 4,000 tokens, for example, but it depends by the model, no? The point is, but if I have a lot of data and I want to just make a calculation with data inside this very big document, I cannot do this with a RAG bot because RAG bots are just designed to fit into a simple question answer model. So I just found your answer and I can reply you with the answer. But if you have, for example, a CSV, an Excel, or a very long PDF with a lot of data inside, you need a different approach to get your reply. You need to use Assistants API. They are they are still in beta for ChatGPT. This is the main reason why you don't find these APIs in a lot of tools around, no? Because they are still in beta. So people just fear to make a hard integration with something that can change in any moment. But they are really interesting because here they are, no? ChatGPT, OpenAI, I can say, no? OpenAI assistants. And this is what we are integrating in the next month. So in the next month, when we will, assistants API are very good when you have to work with files. Sometimes, like the CV, also uploaded on the fly. So you are talking with the chatbot and you just upload your end user just uploads a file and you provided on the backend a workflow to operate on this file. So we did a lot of work with assistants, and you will see assistants really soon, along with custom chatbots, where ChatGPT will provide better APIs to include custom chatbots, because all of these APIs are all in beta, because we are working on something that is on the edge of the wave, no? So sometimes we have to work with beta software, beta APIs, and we are a small company. We don't want to get wrong in some way, no? To make the right move without rebuild something that we did where we already put a lot of effort. No? I hope I replied to the question.
Got it. Yeah, I think the product roadmap seems interesting. The next question we have is, can I use this for lead generation? So when someone lands on the landing page, can we ask the visitor to put in their name and email ID? Is that one of the use cases?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Actually, you can see also on our website that we use our tool to collect more leads and also to qualify them better. And this, let's say, is quite a common use case, especially for B2B companies.
That
we should
makes sense.
also have some templates already available in our community that you can import in your workspace, and it's almost a turnkey solution where you can start.
Awesome. The next one is the API request seems to be subject to latency. Is there a means of reducing this? Do users have access to the tokens sent on the backend?
I understood the question and the part about latency. I didn't understand the last part. Can you repeat, please? The last part of the question.
It says, do users have access to the tokens sent on the backend?
So the main point about latency is the latency, it depends by the complexity of the answer. If you just, for example, when you look at the ChatGPT, the AI agent that was validating the CV was very fast because my question was very short and I just asked him to reply yes or no. So if I do a simple question and I ask him to reply in a very simple way, the main latency you get in the length of the reply. This is exactly the same perception that you have when you use ChatGPT user interface. When you ask something long, you go in a streaming mode. No, this is something that is also provided by APIs. No, because we can also do something similar. For example, when you ask something very complex, no, for example, a paragraph, no, to reply with a paragraph to ChatGPT, it will start streaming the reply, no? And you see the reply that is composing, no, in time, word by word. The total delay that you get is the total delay that you get when, and you perceive very long when you don't have the streaming capability. Something that we, into the widget, we still don't provide, no, the streaming capability. Because with the streaming capability, you can also get very long tests in a very fast way, simply because they start printing soon, but they will end just on the end. The point is that you can, in some way, and we can too, no, in some way implement streaming on the web widget because we beat the web widget. But TileDesk is multi-channel. And when you go multi-channel, you have to fight all the channels that provide or not provide those kind of features. And for example, WhatsApp don't provide the feature capability. Facebook doesn't provide the feature streaming capability. So this is something that you have to face when you work with ChatGPT. You have to be aware that we can improve the product, for example, adding the streaming capability, but be aware that you make hard answers, the questions are long text, you will get a long delay. Sometimes I can say by experience that the delay can also be more than 20 seconds long. Because sometimes we had to work, for example, on the web request timeout that was initially fixed to 20 seconds. We have to make the timeout of web request longer, no, or better, flexible. So you can also, sometimes, for example, assistants, APIs, they really get a really long time to provide you a reply. But this is normal because they have to analyze documents that are sometimes 1/2 of a gigabyte longer, no? So when you have a lot of data to analyze, you have to take your time, okay? To give his time to ChatGPT, no? So this is the reply. It depends. It doesn't depend by us because we just do a really fast work behind the scenes. Connecting with Pinecone or getting the embeddings is a very, the first part of the tutorial was about, this is very, the green part is very fast. It's the query part that can be very fast or very slow. It depends by the query, okay? Hard queries, much longer time. Short queries, shorter time, okay?
Makes sense. I have two related questions. One says, is it possible to take over a chat from the AI chat to the human replies? And the second question, which is related to that, says, can I use TileDesk as a live chat widget on our website?
Yes, well, the answer is,
okay, go, Michele, go.
Is yes in both cases. So you can hand over the chat to a human agent, and it's something that we strongly advise, especially for managing the most complex ones. And actually, also in the example I prepared for the first part of the meeting, I put a button to talk with an agent. And yes, you can also install the widget on your website or inside your mobile applications, so that you always give a way of your user get in touch with you and your brand.
Awesome. There's another one that says, extremely interesting talk. I wanted to ask if it's going to be possible to use a different vector database instead of Pinecone.
If you can use another vector database instead of Pinecone, yes, we already did our experiments with Chroma, for example, another tool written in Python, if I'm not wrong, no? And we just did some experiment with Llama and Chroma, just to create the same, a mirror of ChatGPT and Pinecone. And they provided our really good results, okay? Really, really good results. The point is that you have to provide a very good experience that is, I can say, you cannot, you have to create a trusting experience. So we have to do more experiments, more use cases before providing the connectors to this new tooling. I can say totally open source. But as I told before, yes, we have a replacement, an open source replacement for Chroma and for Pinecone. We also use behind the scenes, no? Tiledesk uses MongoDB as a database, and MongoDB introduced its vector database just in the last month. From 2 months, I can say. From 2 months, we have a MongoDB native vector database. So we have a lot of opportunities now to work with something on-premise and open source too, I can say, no? So yes, we have the replacement for Pinecone, we have replacement for generative AI, cloud and on-premise. For cloud, we are just focusing on Llama, that is from Meta, and Mistral, that is a European project. And while we are in the cloud, we are trying to embed, to plug Anthropic. This is the other opportunity that we have. So we will provide, I think, and I hope, for the end of the year, 4 generative APIs, a couple open sourced and a couple in the cloud. No? The 2 main on the cloud, ChatGPT and Anthropic, while on the open source on-premise version, Llama from Meta and Mistral, with the opportunity to plug also your vector database. That can be Chroma, that can be MongoDB. Also Redis provides his own vector database, I can say, no? There are a lot of opportunities.
That's awesome. I have one last one for you. Is Tiledesk multi-tenant?
Absolutely. You already see that Tiledesk is multi-tenant from the user interface, no? Because if you go here, no, you go back, you already see, no, that we have a multi-tenancy here. I have a lot of workspaces, as you can see. Each workspace just is how can I say, a sandbox for all your resources. So into a workspace, this is also valid for the on-premise version. Okay, so you can get your on-premise version, install it on your data centers, and you will get the multi-tenancy. So into a tenant, you can get your chatbots, as many as you want. It depends. Obviously, there is a pricing, no, on the cloud version, while on the on-premise there is not. So you will have your humans, no, here. You have your humans, your teammates. You have your documents, your knowledge bases. You have a lot of things all embedded inside a tenant. So yes, Tiledesk is multi-tenant from the origin. We created the Tiledesk with a database sharing modality to create a multi-tenancy that is very lightweight. So you just have one installation, and this is the database that implements the tenants. So everything, every chatbot belongs to a workspace. We are renaming. I'm sorry, this is important. We are renaming projects into workspaces in the next few months, because project is something that is really nerd. Workspace is much more understandable by everyone, So this is our multi-tenancy.
Okay? That's wonderful. So this webinar has been very insightful for me personally. That was Michael and Andrea diving deep into conversational automation with LLM-enabled chatbots. I believe from the walkthrough and the technical understanding of the use cases that we've got, you can actually implement all of that using TileDesk. If I could quickly invite Michael to give us a quick intro into TileDesk and how someone can get started with all of the chatbot automations and things that we discussed here. Could you please unmute yourself?
To start, it's really easy. You can go on our website. Okay. Here, meanwhile, you can see Chroma, the vector DB alternative to Pinecone that Andrea mentioned you before. So you go on TileDesk, and yes, we have a free plan that actually you can see here on our pricing page, and it's a sort of a sandbox that it's good enough to start. And yeah, you can create your account. Well, actually, I'm already logged in the solution, but yeah, and yeah, you put your data, you can sign up with Google. And the good things is that we also have a community. As I mentioned you before, it's something that we started recently. And if you go here in the bot section, you can see some already pre-built chatbots that, for instance, the one about generate leads. So you can use the template and you can import in your project with 2 clicks, basically. And here, yes, you are ready to start, no? So this is environment, and you just have to customize, no? Maybe my name is Mike. Here you can see another feature that create different call to actions that will be shown to the users. And after, yeah, it's just a matter to customize here maybe the mail where you want to send the codes and so on, no? So, well, I think when there is a new tool in some new skills that you want to learn, to start from templates is always the best way. So I strongly invite you to explore the ones we have, no? That now there are more than 100 and they're growing week over week.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Hopefully, we get to bring you more webinars monthly. Let's take over this conversation onto our Discord community and the community that's listed on the website footer as well. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to the TileDesk team. Michael and Andrea are also available on LinkedIn and other social platforms. We'll love to see you guys in the community. We would add maybe the link at the end of the webinar in the description of this video, and hopefully you'll receive it in your email as well. Thank you so much, Michael and Andrea, for taking time to take us through everything, and thanks everyone for joining in from different parts of the world. See you next time.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.